Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. If you are new here, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for the support. On my channel, I like to give my opinion and perspective on things that are happening today, things that I think actually matter to everyday people, especially those of us trying to raise kids in the insanity known as today's society. I do like to talk about current events and politics, and my perspective does tend to be more on the conservative side of things. Be sure to like this video, leave a comment below, also share it with others, help me to grow this channel, hopefully to reach more people that value logic, reason, and sanity. Also, be sure to find me on Rumble under Outspoken Samantha in the event that YouTube decides I have violated their community standards and chooses to kick me off their platform forever. That being said, let's get into today's topic. So today I'm just going to kind of keep it light and simple and just chat about a couple things that I have rolling around in my brain. The first thing is, so you guys may have seen my post on Facebook or Twitter where I said that I tested positive for COVID a couple of days ago. Today's Tuesday, I tested on Sunday. So yeah, it's been a couple days, but it was Friday and Saturday that I was feeling really, really ill. Friday, it was one of those things where I was sitting there, like usually when I wake up in the morning, I turn on my little heater that I have on the floor and I'll just sit in front of it and just warm up because I'm always cold. I hate being cold. But it was so weird because I was sitting there with this heater blasting on me and I couldn't get warm. There was nothing I could do to get warm. I was freezing like to the bone on like a cellular level. It was so weird. But again, I thought maybe I'm just like fighting a cold, maybe I'm just fighting a virus, you know. And for most of us, when we get sick, we just kind of muscle through it. You know, we have a lot of things to do. It's like, all right, I'm gonna take some Dayquil, I'm gonna take some Tylenol, I'm just gonna muscle through it. It's the end of the week and then I'll just sleep over the weekend. So I went to work and then I found out that a coworker of mine had tested positive for COVID. For me, I was still thinking I was honestly thinking that I really wasn't sick, that I was just maybe just tired or worn out or whatever. But you know, throughout the day, it just I was just so incredibly exhausted. I couldn't get warm still. I was just feeling miserable. So I ended up leaving work early, and I came home about 5 o'clock and slept for 15 hours straight. My poor husband, I was just like, I'm exhausted. I can't even keep my eyes open. So I fell asleep and I didn't wake up the next morning until 7. And then I had breakfast and then I fell asleep again until like 1 o'clock. So I was just out of it. So I'm thinking it's just the flu. I'm just fighting the flu. It's fine. But Sunday I decided just to get a home test, a test for COVID, just to see if I had it or not. And it came back positive, so I let my boss know, and they said, you have to self-isolate for 5 days from the day that you felt sick. And I'm guessing I probably had it like Thursday or Friday, and then, so today's Tuesday, and so I did test again a couple of hours ago, and it came back negative. So everything's fine. But a lot of people were asking me when I made my post, like, why would you test? It doesn't matter. Why are you even testing? And for me, if I were working from home or I didn't have to go anywhere, I probably wouldn't have even cared to test. But at the same time, also, to me, it's just like finding out if you have any other illness. Like if you have strep throat, if you have bronchitis, if you have pneumonia, if you have laryngitis, or if you have the flu, or if you have the cold, it's to me, COVID is a part of life. It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. To me, it's just like finding out if you have any other illness, so you know how to treat it, you know how to handle it. So that was why I tested. And I wanted to make sure that I was being respectful of my workplace, of my employers, and letting them know, being completely honest with them about, what it is that I have. And so, everything's fine, it's all good, but I just wanted to clarify that's my perspective on testing at this point. Do I think everybody needs to test all the time? No, I don't think it's that big of a deal anymore. People who are vaccinated and quadruple boosted, and however many boosters we're up to now, they're people that want that have it. Most of the population has probably had COVID by now. We've all got natural antibodies. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But, you know, I just decided to test just out of curiosity to see if I had it or not. But, you know, like I said, COVID's part of our everyday lives now. It is what it is. It's probably going to be more prevalent in the winter months and not as much in summer months, just like every other like flu-like illness and colds and things like that. So, so that's just my perspective. I mean, honestly, we just need to know what it is that we have so we know how to treat it. So that was what I wanted to touch on that. The second thing is, and I have to laugh. So I had to go out and run a couple of errands today. Just this afternoon, I had to go pick something up, and, yeah, so I was, it's amazing to me, the society that we have created, because, and here's what I mean by that. So first I had to stop at Target, and I don't typically like shopping at Target. Usually they don't have what I need, but second of all, like, just a lot of the things that have come out about Target, and they seem to be kind of woke, and I don't know. Target just gives me just bad vibes. Don't like it. But it was the closest store to where I needed to run this other errand, and I just didn't feel like running all over the place. So I'm driving through the parking lot, and on the back of my car, I have some, they're not bumper stickers. They could be bumper stickers, but my husband puts them on the windshield so he doesn't ruin the paint on the car, which, thank you. So I have a couple that are slightly politically motivated, you know, political undertones. Okay, there's one that says, "Let's go Brandon," but the other ones, they're not, you know, they're not overly obnoxious, right? They're not anything overly out there. But I'm driving through the parking lot, and of course, you know, there's a gazillion people out. Everybody else is out, you know, getting their Christmas presents and the last minute shopping. And so there's far more people out than would normally be. And I'm driving through the parking lot looking for a parking space. I pull in and I see people walking past the back of my car. And sometimes I just sit there and I'm like, is someone going to be triggered by my bumper stickers? Is someone going to say anything? Is someone going to like key my car, slash my tires, or write a nasty message in the dirt on the back of my window? Like, you know, I just never know how people are going to react when they see the things on the back of my car, because it's very clear which way I lean politically by reading them. But it's just weird that I even have to think about if that is going to just send somebody over the edge and they're going to damage my car, because nothing would surprise me at this point. So, you know, thankfully nobody did. I actually had one guy, I saw him walk by and just kind of slowly like reading, and then he starts laughing. So, just walks away. I'm like, okay, good. That's great. So anyway, so I'm walking into the store and I'm in the aisle. I think I was buying shampoo or something like that. And this mom and her kid are like in the same aisle as me, and he's got to be probably 12, I'm guessing. He's kind of a tall kid, so it was kind of hard to tell. And I was kind of in my own zone, and I hear him say Merry Christmas, and it didn't occur to me that maybe he was talking to me, because I was so like I was not even paying attention to what's going on around me. And then I hear him say to his mom, like, "Oh, should I not say Merry Christmas?" And she's like, "You can say Merry Christmas, it's fine." And you know, afterwards, when I like looking back on it, I realized he may have been saying it to me, and I feel bad that I didn't respond. But it's funny that, you know, he would even be worried about saying Merry Christmas, and if someone is going to react in a way, like in a negative way to that, or if he's going to offend somebody. So I thought that was really silly, and I feel bad that I didn't say it back, because I totally would have. It didn't occur to me that maybe he was talking to me, but, so anyway, that was kind of, you know, a small handful of incidents. So then I go back to my car, and I have to drive across the parking lot to this other store that's in the same parking lot. And I had to go into this this makeup store. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. It's just I had to go in there and pick up an online order and then buy something else. So I go in there, and I already know the kind of environment that I'm in. I already know probably the political leaning of most people that work for this particular store. I already know the political standing of the people that are at the head of this particular company. So every time I go in there, like, I already know pretty much what I'm surrounded by. I don't really think that much about it, but I already know. And I see this guy dressed like a guy. He's wearing pants, like a red blazer, I think, and he has makeup on. And I have been, a freelancer in the beauty industry for like 20 years now, so this kind of thing doesn't surprise me. Like, I've seen dudes wear makeup a lot. It doesn't faze me. Regardless of my personal belief system, I don't care. You do you. And I go up to pay for the thing that I bought, and I'm just having friendly conversation with him, and he asked me a question. I don't remember what it was, and I almost said, "No, sir." And I stopped myself, because in my brain I'm thinking, if I say sir, is he gonna like flip out? Is he gonna start crying? Is he gonna like accuse me of misgendering him? Am I gonna totally ruin this person's day? Like, is he a they? Is he a them? Is he a zer? Is he a fish? Like, I don't know. And I'm not one to want to encourage this delusion of picking your pronouns. Sorry, not sorry. But it's just in the back of my mind, like, what kind of a reaction am I gonna get if I say the wrong thing? And I didn't stop myself because of that. I just stopped myself because my thought process started going like, what kind of a reaction am I gonna get if I say the wrong thing? And because I don't know. He could be a he and a him. He could be calling himself a she that day. I have absolutely no idea. But it's bizarre that I have to even sit there and think about it. So then I had to go to the the other part of the store to get my online order. So I asked this girl if she could get it for me, because she was handling all the online orders, and we're having a friendly conversation, just super nice, whatever, casual. And we're done, and she says, have a nice evening or something. And I almost said Merry Christmas, but I stopped myself. And I hate that I stopped myself. I really don't like that I did, because I was about to say Merry Christmas, and to me that's a positive, happy thing. And I should be able to say Merry Christmas. And I'm typically not the kind of person that I really don't care like what people think or if they're gonna freak out or not. I think it's just because where my brain was at already with all of these other things, that I was just kind of already in that mindset of, how are they gonna react if I say Merry Christmas? And I didn't. I think I said just have a good night too, or, you too, or whatever, and went back to my car. And it's amazing to me that this is the society that we've created, that we have to walk on eggshells, that we have to constantly be thinking about every little word that comes out of our mouths, that think about exactly saying just the right thing, because you have no idea if someone is just going to completely lose their mind, if they're going to start screaming and crying, or if they're going to start lecturing you about, all of the different pronouns and being more inclusive and, whatever it is. And I live in Texas, so, I realize it's probably not as likely to happen here, but at the same time, like, you just never know. And I think it's really sad that this is where we're at, that we've, created this society, that we're raising a generation that can't handle anything. If someone misgenders them, if someone says Merry Christmas, if someone says just the wrong thing, that could potentially just send somebody completely over the edge. And that's not something that we should be proud of. That is something that all of us should be worried about. Is that the kind of life that we want our kids and these young adults to be living, where everybody around them constantly has to be just like gently testing the waters, because they're so delicate that they could crumble at just the slightest little flick, just the slightest little thing. It could completely shatter them. And I think that's a real shame, that we even have to think of this generation that way. I would love to be able to just say Merry Christmas out of politeness, out of goodwill, have that understanding that I'm not trying to offend you. I'm really just saying something nice to you. And that if I call you a he, that I'm not trying to ruin your day. And to get back to some semblance of normalcy, and to raise kids in a generation with thicker skin. And, like I said, to just not have to be walking on eggshells all the time. So let me know what your thoughts are, both on the COVID testing and on this whole idea of just having to kind of watch what we say over every little thing. Because I don't think that we should have to do that. I shouldn't have to censor myself constantly. Like, I'm not even being vulgar or mean or disrespectful. It's just the words that I use. If I use just the wrong word, and some wokester within, 5 feet of me has a completely definition in their brain of that word, and I could completely ruin their day without even knowing it, or completely ruin their life without even knowing it. So it's just sad. It really is. So let me know what your thoughts are. Have you had any experiences like that lately? Because, I mean, I can't imagine what it would be like to live someplace, like Los Angeles or in New York, or, one of these other far more left-leaning cities, right in the middle of Blueville, like what that would be like, because you have a much higher chance of having one of these instances actually like escalate to something. Whereas here, I'm right outside of Fort Worth. Like, I don't worry about it that much. It's just, I don't want to have to worry about it at all. I don't think that we should have to. Maybe raise your kids to be a little tougher. That'd be nice. Anyway, Merry Christmas, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.